Well, this is one of the most heartbreaking disorders that too many of us have to face. And it's painful for partners, for children, for relatives that have to watch their loved ones suffer memory loss and cognitive decline. And I'm talking about dementia. And the statistics of people affected by dementia are just astounding. It's a global problem affecting more than 46 million people. An Australian is diagnosed with dementia every 6 minutes. And there are currently 350,000 Australians living with dementia. Well, today we're going to do our bit to help you fight it. Dr. Jenny Brockis, medical practitioner, international speaker and author, is also an expert in keeping your brain fit. Dr. Brockis has advice on what we can all do now to prevent or delay the onset of dementia. And if you've got a question, by the way, happy to take your call on 131873. Doctor, welcome to the program once again.
Thank you so much, Chris. Good to be with you.
An Australian is diagnosed with dementia every 6 minutes. That is an astounding statistic. Are we becoming a society inflicted with more dementia, or are we just living longer and so there are more cases of dementia, or is there more reporting, or all of the above?
It's probably a bit of all above, but it certainly reflects the fact we have an ageing society, because Alzheimer's or different forms of dementia tend to be diagnosed as we get older, and we are certainly living longer. So the average age for most people, if they're going to be diagnosed with something like Alzheimer's disease, is around about 65. Although there are unfortunately many people today who are being diagnosed in their 40s and 50s as well.
It can be a genetic risk, right?
Yes. There are certainly genetic factors at play here, and I think many people are aware that if they have a family member, a parent or a sibling with a history of cognitive decline or some form of dementia, then they themselves are at greater risk. But having said that, the research now suggests very strongly that there is much that we can do to help minimize our own potential risk of cognitive decline. We may not, we don't always know the deck of cards that we've been dealt in terms of our genetic risk, but it's now becoming increasingly obvious that it is our choice of lifestyle that can make a big difference as to when cognitive decline may actually be expressed.
So what are the things that we do or the way we live that brings it on?
Well, it's the things that, going back to the basic things, it's the food we choose to eat. It's how much physical activity we choose to engage
So
in.
hang on, before you go past food, what food should we eat to stop the onset of dementia?
Well, there's no single food. It's really the choice of food style, if you'd like to call it that, and the Western foods that we tend to eat a lot of, which are the highly processed foods, are really bad for brain health.
So fatty, high processed foods.
High salt, high sugar content are all not good for our brain.
What about physical activity?
Physical activity, it's about doing the huffy-puffy stuff, the 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic-style activity, enough to get your heart rate up a bit, that is really what we call neuroprotective. And beyond that, it's just about being more physically active during our day. So even if you're not a marathon runner or you hate the gym, just standing up more and moving around more during our day, going for a walk 2 or 3 times a week can make a significant difference to how well our brain will age. And if we do nothing else, just being more physically active is something that we can all do to help protect us.
Are people with diabetes, people who are overweight, people who smoke, are they all more prone to being affected by dementia?
They are. I mean, dementia is the umbrella term, and Alzheimer's is the most commonly known form, but vascular dementia is very common as well, and that's associated with those people who have type 2 diabetes or who have high blood pressure or who are overweight or who are smokers. So all these things, of course, mean that we have the potential to modify our own risk, because if you have been diagnosed with diabetes type 2, it's really, really important to maintain as good control of your blood sugar as possible, not just for your general physical health, but for your future brain health as well.
Okay, what about brain health? What about training your brain? What about exercising your brain? What do we do?
Yes, stretching your mental muscle, absolutely. Some people love to do those brain training games, and if you like to do that, that's fine. But there's a lot of controversy as to how effective they are in actually translating to improving mental capability.
Right.
So you can do other things like engage in social activities that you participate with other people, like joining a choir, joining a book club, going to see a movie.
Or some intellectual gymnastics by listening to talk radio.
Yes, absolutely. Listening and participating in talkback radio is a great way to stretch your mental muscle.
Yeah, mental speed of process, in other words.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
think fast on your feet. Yeah.
What about sleep?
Sleep is really, really important, and I think as a society we tend to overlook the need for good quality sleep.
Yeah.
I think we all know that 7 to 8 hours is what's required, but it's the quality of the sleep as well as the duration of sleep that matters.
Yeah.
And we live in a culture where, we've got access to things like Netflix, and, we use our computers late in the evening, and all these things can impact how well we sleep at night.
Yeah.
So trying to ensure you get a good enough amount of sleep and good quality sleep is really, really critical.
Okay, Paul has got a question for you, Doctor. Go right ahead, Paul.
Yeah, good afternoon, Doctor. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
Doc, I've been reading about brain health and all that, and I was led on to a area called nootropics, where it's like brain health medicine, and I'm just wondering, have you heard of anything like that? And if so, what's your thoughts on it?
I think you're talking about those medications which can be used to try and enhance mental performance.
Cognitive abilities, yeah. Performance, mental agility.
I think I would exercise a degree of caution around them. They're certainly out there. People are certainly using them, but I don't think we know enough about them yet as to ascertain how safe they are and whether they actually sort of do what we think they're going to do for us. So I think I'm quite sceptical about them, and I would treat them. I would keep an eye on them, but not necessarily engage with them.
Okay. Where can people go to get more information, like really informative information, not just Googling keywords like our previous listener has done, to get proper information on what we're discussing now on dementia?
Well, I mean, the Alzheimer's Association has a very good website, and they have a lot of fact sheets there that will give people information about not just Alzheimer's, but other forms of dementia as well. So that's always a very good place to start.
Right.
If they want to find out more about sort of brain fitness and brain health, they can always, of course, read my book.
Yeah, right, okay.
which is about sort of what we can do to sort of look after our brains better and sort of increase our mental performance.
Okay, so they can go to your website, drjennybrockis.com?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So I think, those are two very good places to start off with.
Okay, all right. 131873 is the telephone number. Maria, go right ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to know about Binswanger disease.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Binswanger.
Yeah.
Binswanger.
It's a type of vascular dementia.
It's a type of vascular dementia?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pass on that one because I'm not quite sure about it either.
What is vascular dementia?
Vascular dementia is where people have little mini strokes, or what they call TIAs. There's little interruptions to the blood flow within the brain, and as a consequence, we actually lose small areas of brain tissue, so we lose the functionality.
Right.
And if they happen over a period of time, we gradually lose more mental function.
Okay. All right, you put us on some kind of track to reducing the onset of dementia, and it has become such a terrible disease, but one that you can do something about. So thank you very much for all of that.
No, my pleasure.
Dr. Jenny Brockis. There you have it. You can go to her website, Dr. Jenny Brockis, BROCKIS.com.